right. There we go. All right. Floor is yours, Tony.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm proud to be here as part of the Purse Strings Learn Luncheon, if I have the name right, Maggie. So I'm Tony Steuer. I'm the Chief Content and Financial Education Officer at Paperwork. I'm also an author and podcaster, as well as a host of the Females in Finance Meet the Author show. So I'm going to switch over to my presentation, and hopefully I will do this smoothly. So our presentation today is we're going to be talking about how to be prepared for life with a paperwork path to financial wellness. So we have a financial literacy pandemic, and I don't think that these statistics are going to be overly surprising to any of us in the financial community. Middle upper income families are going it alone with disastrous results. We know that 75% of people don't use a financial advisor or any professional help. People, 82% of people over age 55 don't have estate planning documents. There's $9 billion of unclaimed life insurance and, countless billions more in other unclaimed property. People are not financially organized or prepared. I mean, it's big. And this is something that I found across my career, that the most common theme across the spectrum is that the subject of money and finances is complex and overwhelming for most people. My goal is to help people be empowered to make smart money choices by providing them with the knowledge and resources that could have a dramatic impact on their financial lives. So I embarked on a mission to help change the money conversation, and this is where paperwork is going to enter into the conversation. If you think for a minute about our financial lives as being a huge puzzle, there's no picture to follow, and oftentimes it's not clear how all the pieces of our financial lives fit together and even what pieces are missing. Think about your life insurance as one piece, your estate planning is another piece, your investment portfolio is another piece. All these pieces are scattered, and sometimes we even have duplicate puzzle pieces. So how do we help ourselves and our clients start to put these puzzle pieces together? How do we start to address this financial literacy pandemic? Well, as we know, a lot of time, money, and resources have been spent on financial literacy. However, as these statistics show, people are not becoming more financially literate or making better money choices. So we have to think about looking at this issue differently. We have to look beyond the surface and think about how people's personal money stories impact them, how they're taught in school, what information they have access to, and how they approach money and how that impacts the financial literacy pandemic is, teaching people how to budget and save money, and the magic of compounding interest is so important. However, there's so much more. There's a whole emotional side to money. So how do we start to help people? Well, for me, I created the Get Ready Planner. And this is how I thought that we could start to change the money conversation. And as part of that, I created some guiding principles, which formed very cleverly the title of Get Ready. And I figured that these principles can be applied to all facets of someone's financial life. And as I mentioned, they're at the core of the Get Ready Planner. These principles are designed to provide guidance which results in education and efficiency in managing a financial life. So let's take a look at what Get Ready stands for. Get Ready stands for goals. It's important to have financial goals so that you can be in charge of your financial future. It's important to educate yourself. As we all know, this is, again, about financial literacy, but as the slide shows, is financial literacy is part of it. The education is part of it. People need to become financially literate. They need to spend more time thinking about selecting their mutual fund than they spend shopping for a television. Don't know about you guys, but I've seen people spend hours searching out different televisions that they're going to buy or the next car. And they don't spend that much time thinking about their insurance. They don't spend that much time thinking about what a will and trust can do for them. So it's taking that time to educate
Where are you
themselves.
gonna be hanging out?
Probably in the kitchen.
And then it's important to stay on track, is to have benchmarks to make sure you're hitting your milestones and that things are up to date. And then you also have to think about reviewing things for accuracy and fit. While one product may be great for somebody, an annuity, let's say, for example, for somebody who's retired, so they have some guaranteed income, an annuity is not going to be a great fit for somebody who's 35 and just starting out in their career. So that's a big part of it, is taking a look, as I mentioned, at that bigger puzzle and fitting the pieces together. And then we have to be mindful of expenses. And I don't mean just the expenses that we all have and we think about cable and mortgage and everything else, is that we have to think about the expenses that we pay for our financial services products. Is there a surcharge on your insurance premiums for paying monthly? How much is that surcharge per year? Can we save a percentage point on our mutual funds? As we know, is if we save 1% a year on our investment fee expenses, that's an extra 1% a year in return for our clients. So it's important to take a look at those little expenses, because that's what really adds up. And it's also important to be able to assemble the information. And again, that's where I allude to the puzzle piece. And that's what led me to paperwork, is that it's important to get all the paperwork together. How often have we as advisors had to hound our clients to hunt down that one piece of paperwork that they were going to bring to a client meeting that we needed to finish a financial plan, to make an insurance recommendation? Uh, it's hard to get that information. And then it's important for people to concentrate on the details, that it's not just about, a mutual fund. What are the details about the mutual fund? As we mentioned, it's about expenses. It's about what the fund invests in. Is it the right fund for somebody? And then, of course, what's often missed with many financial products is a yearly review to go over things. And I'll talk more about the yearly review later in the presentation, because that's an exciting part of the paperwork experience. So, as I mentioned, over the past few years, my journey included creating the award-winning Get Ready system of books and content, which I developed as a practical guide for people to maximize their financial health and take control of their financial lives. At the same time, mission-driven founders, like the folks at Paperwork, were leveraging technology to help people get organized and prepared for life's curveballs. When I first met Kevin Simmering, the CEO and co-founder of Paperwork, it was instantly clear that our philosophies and values were closely aligned. And this is what's, I think, relevant for the purse strings community. Paperwork's mission of helping families be prepared for life matches my vision of empowering people with the knowledge and financial literacy that they need to be prepared for any financial emergency. And that's how we can really help our clients, is to provide them the tools so they can make informed choices. And for me, if I had been able to create an app for the Get Ready system, it would have been Paperwork. And Paperwork does a number of things for people. As we talked about, it helps people assemble their financial documents. That's the core underlying feature of Paperwork, is it helps people get those documents in order, organized into these collections, as you can see on the screen. It makes documents always accessible for when they're needed. One of the new features we're just rolling out is a collaboration feature. And what that does is it allows people to set up a collaboration feature with, let's say, their attorney, where they can share certain documents with their attorney, and their attorney can share certain documents back with them. They can do the same thing with their financial planner or their insurance agent. Just imagine if you're meeting with a client and you say to the client, hey, can I see the latest statement from Schwab? And the client says, oh, well, I just have it here in my paperwork. I can share it right with you. So for me, having something like this was a tool that I knew would have been valuable to me when I was a practitioner, and that I think is an exciting tool for people to use to take control of their financial documents and to really maximize the time they spend with their advisor instead of the advisor spending hours sorting through their client's paperwork. Uh, it also allows people to set up emergency access in case something happens to them. So somebody else has access, let's say a spouse. I know, for example, in our marriage is that, I handle most of the financial stuff, but my wife would need to be able to access it. And so it's important for her to be able to have access. And then, you know, the key for me was that we can leverage technology to make this easier for people. We can put it on a phone, we can put it on a computer. But what's really exciting is where we're going with this. The next phase of our journey is the paperwork path. The paperwork path is a simple system for financial wellness. What we're doing is we're creating a way for people to have step by step guidance on what to assemble at each stage of their life. So, for example, if someone were to get married, it's like these are the documents you'd want to upload, these are the things you'd want to take care of, but it's all based around being organized. We're going to help people enhance their financial knowledge. So, as you can see on here, is somebody uploads their homeowner's policy. We'll take a look at the value of their house and the coverage, and we'll say something based on your house value, you're underinsured. Your coverage would only pay 78% of the average cost to replace or build your policy. And at that point, then when somebody says, tell me more, we would say, so at this point, you want to contact your homeowner's insurance agent and sit down with them and review the policy limits. So we're helping them to know when is the right time to contact their advisors, where for an advisor, it may not be something that's covered in a review or it's covered in the next annual review. So it's helping people to know when it's time to take action. And we call it this actionable financial literacy. We also are sending people reminders about time sensitive actions, things that they need to get taken care of. Is like, okay, your homeowner's insurance is coming up, the X date is so and so. We're going to send you a reminder 60 days ahead of time so you can go through that with your homeowner's insurance agent, or you can talk to your financial planner to see if this is the best option for you. That's where we're going with paperwork. And we're also helping people access the right providers to plug any gaps. So if they don't have an advisor in that area, that we can connect them with an advisor or a service to help them get that area of their life taken care of. Because even people who have a whole array of advisors, they may have a financial planner, insurance agent, attorney, and an accountant, there's still gaps sometimes that aren't covered in their financial lives. And so, what we're trying to do with the paperwork path is to help people find those gaps in their financial life and provide them with the action item necessary to address that gap. And that's what I'm really excited about, and where I think paperwork can really make a difference for people and for advisors. So, and how we're also doing that is that we have continued engagement with people is that when they come into the app, they'll have a personalized to-do list. Is we'll send them updates and reminders. For example, like this came up for me yesterday is, I took my son in to get his passport renewed, and they told us it was going to be 10 weeks to get a new passport. That would have been good to know and to have a reminder about. So we'll have a reminder saying, hey, your passport is expiring on such and such a date. Go in 3 months before that so you can make sure you have plenty of time for your passport to be processed. So we can do that with all kinds of financial documents, services, and products to help people stay in front of everything, to make sure that they don't miss their insurance premium, that they don't miss other important dates, let's say a CD maturity date, the surrender window on an annuity, whatever the financial service product is that we can provide them with those things to help them stay on top of everything and not miss important deadlines and incur late fees. The other thing is that we want to make sure that nothing slips through the cracks. And we're going to talk about our proprietary financial calendar, but there's an example here of how this works. Is June is our month for family financial meetings. In June, we suggest that people get together with their families to talk about their goals and uh, their priorities for the year. For example, like your child needs new braces, so this may not be the year for you to take that big trip to Europe. But this is a way to get the whole family on the page so everybody understands what's going on, what the big ticket items are. It increases the financial literacy for the kids, and it helps everybody get on the same page to prioritize what's important for the family, and what can fit within the budget. The other thing about a family financial meeting is that it's a great time to remind adult kids to get together with their parents to talk about their financial lives, to make sure that their parents, are paying their bills on time, that their parents, have talked about their final wishes or whatever it is, that you have those kinds of meetings. But that's what we're helping people to do, is to connect those things that might fall through the gaps. Uh, this is our proprietary financial review calendar. And what it is it's to help people go through every stage of their life by providing them with ongoing reviews, adjustments, and guidance with this financial calendar, because life changes from year to year and things fall through the cracks. So, a couple months on here that I'd like to highlight are July. In July, we encourage people to review the beneficiaries in their estate documents and their other plans, like let's say their retirement plan and their life insurance policies. So, somebody has a new child in January. Did they remember to update their will? Did they remember to update their 401k designation at work? Those are the little things that fall through the cracks because they may not be meeting with their estate planning attorney every year. The financial planner has a very long agenda of items that need to be taken care of. So we help people find those little things so that they can keep everything up to date. Another example is in March. We help people review their loans and expenses. We're going to have a feature very shortly where we rank credit cards according to the APR on the credit cards, so people can see which credit card is costing them more, so they can decide if they want to accelerate payments on a credit card. We'll show them figures on refinancing a mortgage. You know, is the mortgage rate you're paying higher than it should be? And actually, another thing about let me skip to April here because this is another great example. Is we have people review their property taxes. Right now, shrinking property values aren't a big topic. Housing prices are going through the roof. However, when housing prices are falling, people can reduce their property taxes, and we can send them a reminder when their property taxes should be reduced because their housing price has been reduced. So that's where we're going with the financial review calendar, is we're trying to help people connect all the puzzle pieces and make sure that all their puzzle pieces are up to date. So I'd like to open it up for any questions that anybody may have about paperwork.
I know everyone's on mute right now, so feel free to unmute yourselves. It was great, Tony. It's really interesting watching the progress of this build, for sure.
Yeah, we're still, since we're a small audience, paperwork is still in the beginning stages. We're a new company. We just launched in the App Store in January. So a lot of our best features are yet to come. But, that's why I wanted to share the product vision, because the paperwork path is going to be available in the next couple of months. So this is where we're going, is we want to make this a valuable tool for consumers, but we also want to make it a valuable tool for advisors in working with their clients.
So is this to share papers, let's say with your professional, would that be by email, or is that like the professional needs the app as well?
The professional would need the app as well. I would imagine, I'm not sure exactly where on our product map it is, but that would be a feature, is that, they could share it by email or AirDrop or other methods with their practitioner. And we may have an integration with Dropbox in the future or something like that.
Right. Krista, do you have any questions about this or any thoughts?
I think it looks really great and thorough and just helpful to have all that in one place. I wondered if you have any tools that would help someone create a budget and organize their spending.
Yeah, we're going to integrate those at a later point. Is right now, part of it is, we are a young company. So that's a later on down the road. And also there are currently other apps and services that do that. So, we may integrate with those apps and services, or we'll do it at some point within the app, because that is a part of making sure that nothing falls through the budget. And that as we gather this information for clients, we will be able to create a cash flow statement for them. I prefer the term cash flow statement rather than budgets, because budgets turn off people. So, they can see like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be spending, as they say, $25 a week at Starbucks. Is that where the money is going? And then we can also help them figure out where they could possibly save money based on their goals and priorities. What do they want? That's where we want to be. Is we want to ask people, what do you want? What are your goals? What are your priorities? Rather than telling people what they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. So as say a financial advisor, I'm a life insurance agent. Can I see their platform so it reminds me that they need things as well as reminding them?
So with the collaboration space, you can, but it's all at the client's discretion. We made the choice that rather than integrating from the financial planner standpoint or the insurance agent standpoint, that this is all in the hands of the consumer, and that the consumer has all their documents and they can choose what to share with a specific advisor. But the goal is that it does make it easier. My background is as an insurance agent, so it's like tracking down, a client will say, oh yeah, I remember I have this policy I bought 20 years ago, and oh wait, but if they have the annual statement and they've scanned it into paperwork, then they'll be able to show that to somebody, or vice versa, with a mutual fund statement or anything. That's the goal, is that they can share whatever they have as needed rather than having to hunt down the documents.
Okay.
Does that address it, Stacy?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're able to jump on, Stacy.
Yeah, sorry. I've been super busy.
No worries, no worries.
So I'm catching up.
I feel that.
I'd heard of paperwork here and there, but I didn't really know what it was. So thanks for explaining all that, Tony.
Fantastic. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. Did you guys have any other questions or comments or feedback? Especially feedback is always welcome.
I really enjoyed how clean it looked, and it seemed like user-friendly. I like that idea of having a path so you kind of know what to do next, because I feel like a lot of your gaps are you don't know what you don't know, which is helpful. Especially, if you're just getting married and it's your first time getting married, you don't know what paperwork you need, to get married or whatever it may be.
Exactly. And these are the kind of things that we don't really learn anywhere, that we're just expected to know. And if somebody happens to be meeting with their financial advisor, then that's great. Their financial planner can meet them through. But a lot of people may hire a financial advisor on a one-time basis to do their financial plan. But this way, the app will guide them back to say, hey, it's time to meet with your financial planner again, if you haven't done so in a while, or to re-engage somebody to do that. That's the goal, is to help people kind of just get organized financially and stay organized. But the other concept, and I can't show it yet because it's still we're still programming it, is that it's going to be a conversational style, so that people will feel that they're more in a conversation instead of, I'm sure you've all seen other digital document vaults that, I know that there's been quite a few around, Legacy Shield and some of those other ones, is that, you know, people don't really want to sit there and just upload a bunch of documents to a computer or to an app. It's just not fun. I know, you know, for me, that's work. So that we're trying to make it easier for people to engage with the process and to not necessarily want to do it, because I don't think anybody wants to do this kind of stuff, but that it becomes a little bit less painful to
Mhm.
do it. That's our hope. All right. Oops, went the wrong way.